People of Earth, good evening. Welcome to this edition 95 of Star Nation News. Tonight I will bring you to the Andromeda Galaxy to discover a fascinating species, the O. I will also give you a few updates on the disclosure plan on Earth, and also I will invite you to listen to Prince Ea of the Anar Empire, who has a gift for you. This gift, as I have asked him for a long time, is the first verses of the DAYYAKURA. He has given the DAYYAKURA complete to me, but for this time, he will read and explain the first verse that consists in 3 parts, and you will hear for the first time Ea speaking in Anar language. Then I have quite a surprise for you, because I went for a little trip somewhere, not yet the center of the galaxy. Thora needs to book transponder cargo, these long tubular ships before. But I went somewhere 2 weeks ago to meet a very old friend. I will let you discover this, but without further ado, let us embark for an amazing journey. Have you fastened your seatbelts? Ready? Oh, that's going to be a good one, this one. Engage. Regarding the Prime Directive, which is based on the cosmic laws of evolution, a military procedure that preserves lesser evolved species from higher advanced species, not to interfere in their evolution, the disclosure plan on Earth of extraterrestrial presence and existence has no delay. It is following a plan that is, regarding what Toran said, genius, and it is unfolding as split into different operations related to different organizations. The Galactic Federation of Worlds and the Intergalactic Confederation are still displaying every night from all over the planet their spaceships. You can see them from anywhere in the world. You don't need to organize UFO nights or big events. They are here all the time. You have a grid of ships that you can see at the time, between 2 to 4 ships at the time from anywhere in the world. So you just have to look up. And open your heart to high frequency, because regarding the ships from the Intergalactic Confederation, they are in a higher frequency. So if your heart is open and already thinking in a higher frequency, you have better chance to see them uncloaked, because their cloaking systems, for most of them, are frequency cloaking shields. Look up. On Earth, the Earth Alliance, which is the alliance of a good Earth military, positive Earth military, such as the US Navy, and now some sections of the US Air Force. You know, it's very compartmentalized and split into different agenda, I would say. And with the alliance of the Galactic Federation of Worlds. So the Earth Alliance is in charge of disclosing retro-engineered technologies and ancient cooperation between governments and extraterrestrials in the past, good organizations and lesser good organizations, such as the Greys and the Draco Reptilians, as it has happened in the past. All of these regressive ETs, Draco Reptilians and Greys, have gone. In 2021, ending in 2022, operations have cast away from this star system the Greys and the Reptilians. So now only the positive extraterrestrials are here. On Earth, you have a lot of hybrids infiltrated in the governments and some higher levels of army, but these hybrids are not in full power anymore because the head of the institution, the top of the pyramid, is cut off since the Draco-reptilians and the Greys have been removed. So not really anything to fear, but psychological operations, deception, but that's okay. We are now becoming more in tune and more clever, and we have developed our discernment to be able to see what the psychological operations are, such as Project Blue Beam, Polar Shift, Solar Shift, all of this. Yes, Earth is truly moving into the fifth density, but it's a slow process that is not causing any shift, brutal shift to humanity. No need to stress, to panic, stock supply, or fear. This is all deep state operations to leave people under the control of fear, because when you instill fear in a population, you can control it. The Earth and the solar system have moved into a higher frequency zone of this galaxy, which is in average fifth density. So we are adjusting, passing through fourth and fifth. It is a slow adjustment that comes from the star first, always, and then distributes to the other planets. Now we are going slowly to be on the same frequency level as, for instance, the Ahil and other species. So just follow the shift. Do not give in to conflict, because conflictual behaviors are the ancient paradigm, fighting back. The deep state wants to keep us fighting, divided. Let us not be divided. Let us share our differences. When diversity becomes infinity, that is when the fun begins. Different opinions, let's talk about it. That we enrich each other. But let us do it always in respect and politeness. I have seen recently on internet the expression of different opinions in disrespect, cyberbullying, abuse. This is not intelligent conversations. What humanity wants to aspire is to a connection from the heart. Let us speak as the wise elders that we are in the becoming. So now, speaking of these wise words, I am going to let you in the company of the wisest of wisest, Prince Ea. My dear Ea has a gift for you. Here is, for the first time, heard on this planet, the first verse of the DAYYAKURA. Are you ready?
Among us, the Anakim. The most revered edict is the DAYYAKURA, the path of right distance. It served as both a spiritual vow and a cosmic protocol, regulating all contact with civilizations whose evolutionary arc had not yet reached the thresholds of higher consciousness. Unlike the later militarized and more procedural version drafted by the Galactic Federation of Worlds, the DAYYAKURA was woven from metaphysics, cosmology, and a profound respect for the inner evolution of species. My people views evolution not as a biological staircase, but as the luminous unfolding of Suru Imesh, the soul field within a species. Thus, The Dayakura was less a law than a sacred covenant with the great cosmic law of evolution, the self-directing intelligence encoded into the fabric of the universe. The Dayakura arose during the high cycles of Edinkara, when the Anakim first began exploring and uplisting young planetary life. After early excesses and experiments, some well-meaning, some reckless, the High Council of Sages of Uraya declared that guiding lesser developed societies required moral architecture far deeper than strategic policy. The Dayakura was thus not merely written, it was received. It emerged during a synod of visionaries who entered into communion with the mad Kala Kulem, the cosmic memory. The principle revealed to them was simple. Intervention without inner awakening is theft of destiny. This became the seed of the Dayakura. Here is an excerpt of the first verse of the Dayakura, which contains 21 verses. These opening verses describe the great law of evolution as a living presence preceding creation. We believe this law, Dayyarabu, is not a deity, but the structural intelligence from which all existence emanates. The first illumination. Shagurushanu zulum nigzid, Shanambona shashu, Urazumar inasheti shulam. Before form was shaped, before mind awakened, the great law moved in silence across the void. This teaches that before matter or consciousness existed, the great law was already moving, establishing the vector of becoming. Inanish peshu melam shakalunishe, kishara shakakabui tanaru. From its breath came the paths of all beings, woven like threads of starlight through the deep. This affirms that destiny is woven into every species at the moment of cosmic birth. Ulshukashi shiddu shatarumi, shiddu tamitu shanapsharushu kinnu. No hand shall seize another's path, for the thread is sacred to the soul that bears it. This warns that to interfere with this inherent vector is spiritual violation. The overall meaning resumes to intervention is a theft of divine architecture.
I have two lovely stories to share with you about my travels in space. I travel physically. I am teleported on board ships, as you know. I do not do channeling or astral travel or projections or bilocation or whatever. For those who know who I am and what I do, this is what I do. On my latest visit last week on the battle station where Thorhan Eredion, my contact, is working, I got to stroll around the promenade where the commercial section is, and I met with, actually I was approached by a strange man. Well, he wasn't really human. He was of a species I had never seen before. He told me about his star system. I couldn't really make out the name. Anyhow, it didn't matter. You know, you don't care where you come from when you live at the intergalactic era. You just meet the people from the heart, and that's what matters. I know you from the heart. I don't need to know where you come from, who educated you, you know. I just need to know your heart, and then I know you. He had strange, very strange facial features. His skin was brown, but very wrinkled with a lot of different pieces, and he had no hair and like ridges on his head, big green eyes, a bit bulky. And we started to chat, and I was just looking at the sky from the big bay window, and we just start to chat. He is highly telepathic. He's part of the Galactic Guild of Merchants. His name is Arzonag, and he started to tell me things about myself, which I was impressed. And he said, that's why my species is very good at commerce, because we read the minds. And I say, oh, I know that in the Galactic Guilds of Merchants, you have measures to block telepathic probation. And he said, yeah, but you ain't got one. I said, yes, I don't have one. So he could read my mind and tell me a lot about me. It was very intuitive. It was very insightful, and it was really, really nice to have insights about my past, my present, my future, which is very promising. And I was, wow. And he said something to me that has stuck in my mind. He said, anything you ask for, you have to pay for it. But anything you create is free. And then it brings you benefits. That was so profound. To hear this from a merchant from the guild, this, I will keep it in the corner of my mind, because that was really awesome. And of course, Thoran arrived, and they knew each other. And what did you know each other? And Thoran said, yeah, Arzonag asked me for clearance to come on to the ship to do his trade. So they knew each other, and we had a chat, and it was great. And that's my life. That's what I do. People I meet. It's absolutely awesome. But I also met someone, an old friend. Along my travels, my physical travels, I also gonna tell you a story now, which is real and true, and that happened actually on November 11. I have the authorization, after pondering this, will we tell them, will we not? And Alex Collier got back to me one night and said, you know what? Go for it. Let us amaze them and shut up some mouths. So let us rub it a little bit in some faces. I agree, but it is foremost to share with you this beautiful experience. Thank you, Alex, for allowing me to talk about it. So that night I was brought on board a ZENATE mothership, November 11, 2025. The ZENATE motherships are gigantic spheres that expand space through frequency technology. That means that the ship can appear much smaller than they actually are. I had never been on a ZENATE mothership before, so I didn't initially understand why I had been invited. It was very special for me, and I didn't know any ZENATE either. I saw once Lady ZENATE when I attended a council, but she just introduced me to the room. And that was my only physical meeting with the ZENATE women in the past. And I knew another ZENATE who is actually incarnated on Earth, my dear old friend Alex Collier. My friend is the Andromedan Council's emissary on Earth. You know, they have one emissary per organization. And he regularly visits his ZENATE friend, Morene. Morene is a tall, elegant man with shimmering blue skin and eyes. He is the admiral commander of this starship. I once saw Morene through the eyes of Anax, who met him during diplomatic exchanges between the ZENATE and the Council of Five, but I never met him in person. He's very tall, very tall. It was Alex who greeted me, wearing a blue jumpsuit, and it is always delightful and fun to meet a friend from Earth so far away in space. So Alex guided me through the wide, curving corridors on the pale floor that seemed to breathe faint pulses of light. The air shimmered, fractal colors dancing like ethereal kaleidoscopes suspended in motions. Blue breaking into magentas, then fading into silver. Every breath filled our lungs with the impossible scent of jasmine and ozone, crisp and floral at once. When we spoke about it with Alex afterwards, the following day, he said, do you remember the smell? I said, yes, a weird blend of jasmine and ozone. He said, yes, that's it. Do you remember the air? I said, yes, fractals of colors. I said, yes. Oh, the conversation on the following day was amazing. And then we emerged into a vast chamber where water pools were there in basins, in tiered basins, and each level was catching light from unseen sources. The surface of the water rippled softly, reflecting the ceiling above. A living architecture that seemed to grow rather than be built. Its organic curves gleaming with like the inside of a shell. The reflections danced across it, breaking into 1,000 fragments of movement that climbed the ceiling's contours before fading into iridescence. We could hear ZENATE children joyfully playing in the distance in the basins and messing around, playing in the water. They were so beautiful. Their blue skin glimmering with the reflections of light on the water, their laughter echoing in the vast domed ceilings. It was really beautiful, and the vegetation was undescribable. New species I never seen before, with amazing colors, and some were a bit phosphorescent, like on my home world. And something strange and beautiful happened. I reached out a hand and above the water, and I saw the water responding. Not touching the water, there were rings spreading outwards like ripples. And it was like if the water was touched by my own electromagnetic fields, and it was pulsing with my heartbeat. And the water was pulsing like a little bit of light, amber light. It was really beautiful. And the air, the fractals of colors in the air shimmered, and it was moving like alive and bending towards us, like curious. The air, the light was curious, and the ship was a living entity. So Alex smiled because he was watching my reaction, and I was like, wow, oh wow. He was like, Alex, like this. And he said to me, well, you're part of the ecosystem now. The ship recognizes new consciousness. It welcomes you, he says to me. It was beautiful. I know Alex since the time of the Orion Wars, about 300,000 years ago, in Earth time. Time is different in different parts of the universe, the galaxy. And we remember when we led the Black League rebellion against the Nebu takeover of hundreds of star systems. We found one another again a few years ago and recognized each other. Alex paved the way for our collective ascendance, leading the army to rise. Yet he was mercilessly targeted by the adversaries of humanity. Despite tremendous efforts to shut him down, he never wavered. He stood strong in honor and integrity. We stood there in perfect stillness, like two very old friends, listening to the ZENATE children playing in the water pools. And silence spoke its own language. We had completed our mission. The children of Earth were awakening.
Downloading data.
The awe these astonishing beings are plasmic, non-incarnated 12th density consciousnesses. Their plasmic structure is crystallized in geometric patterns of light. The O's are a collective consciousness that communicates in a way beyond telepathy, which humans of Earth have not yet experienced. They originate from a triple star system named Oshuri in the Megapae galaxy, also known as Andromeda. But they do not live on a specific planet. The O's inhabit space and feed off the stellar radiation from their 3 stars and the thrill contained in the ether. As a collective consciousness, the O's are members of the Intergalactic Confederation and participate in scientific research as part of the Cedars, a group of scientists from 24 different intergalactic cultures.
Anything you ask for, you have to pay for it. But anything you create is free.
Star Nation News was brought to you by Elena Danan. Don't miss the latest news every Monday on Elena Danan's channel. Video directed by StefZak.